thank you so much for joining us for this very first podcast. You may not know this, but my conversation with you about your frustration about what was going on in Washington led to this podcast. So thank you for talking out loud, and thank you for being my guest today to talk about what we had discussed. So, first of all, before we get into the discussion, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 43. Originally from New York. I've been here since like 98, and I've been in and out of trouble. Uh I grew up in a harsh neighborhood, Sandy Run, and I just been around people like educated people, but normal people, but at the same time, our people, like people that's struggling, people that need to know this stuff but don't know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I do, and that was what caused my brain to get
right.
going when you said to me, "Who is Trump's boss?" Well, I got to thinking about that, and I'm sure you continue to think about it. So, what would you say to someone who asked the question you asked me? Who is Trump's boss?
Well, I'll tell them what you told me. We the people. But I always do it. I always when I googled it, and then remember in school, especially up north, they told us it was the three branches, right? And then they told us as like, let's say the president start acting up. I want to say that lady told me, and when I googled it, it said the executive branch can do what's the name to have the president removed from thing, but it's like a step.
A
Yeah,
process. A
process. Yeah,
process. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just for some
Some
reason
people.
I
Yeah.
always thought like it was like a branch that was higher than him. But now you had me look that up. You had me think. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, that was what got me to thinking because when you said, "Well, who's Trump's boss anyway?" and I was thinking, well, everybody knows we are Trump's boss, but you're right. Not everybody
right,
knows that, and because we don't do civics in school
right.
anymore, there's no way that people would be able to connect that. But that's an important component of what we need to know in order to strengthen our own resolve to make things change in our
That's
communities.
very true.
And you told me what prompted you to ask that question. Have you had the experience of anybody else asking that question to you?
Believe it or not, in our community, a lot of people do not know how it works. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That man is
And
untouchable.
like you said, it's not taught in school
Right, right,
anymore.
right. So, like I tell them, it's like it's only so much that man can do before it falls apart for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to
Yeah.
have the right people all the time, and nobody has the right people all the time. You know what I'm saying? On his side. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Why was it important for you to ask that question?
because it was
Talk to
like,
me about why it was important.
you know how many people, like, including myself, um, I made some mistakes when I was young, and I'm not eligible for certain insurance. I'm not eligible for no type of government assistance. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do, medical
Mm-hmm.
wise or anything, I have to do it out of pocket. And then I was thinking about people
Mm-hmm.
that don't know
Mm-hmm.
that they have the right to get these things and don't know how to go about it. And then when they go for help, you know what I'm saying? If they don't go to the right people, they don't get their help. So they go without.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know this
Mm-hmm.
one lady,
Mm-hmm.
she just died. And she just sat there and suffered with the different things she had going on. And she never knew that you can go get help for these things. You know what I'm saying? The government, they have programs and types of things. But this man is actually taking away all of that. He's
Yeah.
taking away all of
Yeah.
that. So you got people suffering.
So what would you tell folks now that you've thought about it a little bit? What would you tell them is is very important that we the people know and act on to them?
Well, I think one, we got to get together. We got all got to get on the same page. Two, we need to start thinking like how y'all used to think back in the day, like togetherness. You know what I'm saying? Together, we
Uh-huh.
need to stand up together. I'm not talking about a riot or nothing like that. I'm talking about we need to get on the same page. We need to teach what's right and then follow through with it. You know what I'm saying? Follow
You
through
know,
with it.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think that that's a good perspective, and it's a good way to introduce Ike,
Right,
because this is what he does with young people and with older people,
right,
in terms of helping them understand how they need the power, they have the power, and how they need to use it. So
right,
let me introduce Ike Johnson, who is a former chair of the Onslow County Democratic Party, but that's kind of incidental. Ike, you've done so much. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Good evening, Shawn and Dr. Frederick. Good to be here with you tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts somewhat. I am Ike Johnson. I hail from Mississippi originally. I did 27 years in the Marine Corps
mm,
and ended up in Jacksonville. I'm an educator. I am a corporate executive. I have done a lot of things. As you mentioned, I have ran for office about 4 times in Onslow County, and I ran in the 3rd district for the congressional seat. But I'm kind of a resource person in the community to try to help people negotiate some of the thought process that Shawn is going through, as well as try to connect resources for those who uh, need them and can understand, try to get them to understand how the processes work. But it's good to be
If
with y'all.
if Shawn had asked you the question, "Who is Trump's
Mm-hmm.
boss?" How would you have responded?
The question of who is President Trump's boss, I would say ultimately it is American people, and all elected officials are public servants. Their authority to govern and to do what they do comes from the people, and it is the power of the people that should hold them accountable. And it's done through our election process where we go to the poll and vote that person in. And when they're not doing what they need to do, you have some mechanisms that you can use to try to correct that. It takes a little bit, as we can see with the present situation. But Shawn, earlier you mentioned the courts, Supreme Court, as well as the Congress. Those are all 3 equal powers with the executive branch, and of
right,
course Trump is the executive branch, and they should regulate each other. But sometimes that don't work like that.
right,
But the people, we're kind of in a situation at this point where it's going to take the people to stand up and to let our voices be heard in a lot of different ways, so that the courts will do what they should do, and then the people in Congress that we elected to do what they should be doing do it as well. So yes, the people of America is ultimately the boss of Donald Trump.
right.
How can we help others understand that we the people are Trump's boss? How do we get that message out? And to whom do we get it out?
Well, to everyone, how do we get that message to folks to understand that they have the power to run this country, because this is how the country was founded. The Constitution put the people in charge, which is a pretty interesting type of government called democracy, which you don't see. We spread it around the world, but we don't see it everywhere. There's no one person who is the king. Every person voice counts. Everyone has rights in America. And of course, we see some of those disappearing, but in time, hopefully we will get a hand around, get them back in check. But how do we educate voters and people on understanding and getting their voice? I always start with if you're eligible to vote, that would be the first step. If you're 18 years old and beyond, if you're not registered to vote, then you're not exercising your power of being the regulator of the president and all those elected officials. And we don't always win, but the ideal is that we do vote and try to pick the person that will best serve us. And when we don't get the person that best serve us, we should hold the person that did win accountable to take care of us as well, because that is still their responsibility, where we voted for them or not. So voting would be the first step. Attend town hall meetings. Find out what's going on in your community. There's always the city officials, starting at the local level. They have meetings. They are making decisions on businesses coming to town, on how to fix your streets, how to do different things for you in your community. And if your voice is not heard, then they're going to do what they feel is best in their mind. But the ideal, again, is you in charge as a citizen, and you should utilize that power. And then participate in community discussions. And this is, thank you, Dr. Frederick, for doing this, because this is one of the forums that you can use as well to help people get the education information that they need by having community discussions. And you're a part of that right now. So when we do these things, then you're getting involved in your job of regulating the person that you put in office to move in the direction of doing the things that you want them to do. And that's called governing.
I just have one other question for you, Ike, and that is, in our conversations, one of the things you mentioned is that you mentor, and that the values that you impart as a mentor are essential to the work that we the people have to do. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, we mentor in Onslow County Schools with the organization called MENAC. That is our organization. And we're in elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. And our young people today, as you mentioned earlier, Dr. Frederick, that we don't teach civics. So a lot of this stuff that Shawn is mentioning don't get taught unless a parent or someone share this information, or they read a book, students read a book. So it's important that we pass this on to our young people, and they understand how our government works, how democracy works. And of course, civic engagement, this is crucial. And you can engage, everyone is a citizen from birth. If you were born in America, you've probably seen that birthright trying to be taken away by present executive branch. But if you're born in America, based on the Constitution, you are a citizen of America, and you have all rights and privileges of anyone in this country. And so knowing that you're born here, you're an American, and so you are the person in charge of America, and you have a responsibility to uphold your part of it, to do these civic things that we just talked about, and that's voting and helping to govern the people that you put in office. Everyone can't go to DC or go to the state house in North Carolina to do the job. So we select representatives to do that. And there's a process, and that is, we vote them in. They run for office, tell us what they're going to do for us. We vote them in. And then when they get there, we hope they do the things that we asked them to do, or they said it they was going to do in many cases. And so we like what they said. So we voted for them, and they go. So as young people that we talk to, and we focus on a lot of life skills, character or formations, because a lot of time we haven't developed the character traits that we need to make sure that we are good citizens. I heard you say, Shawn, that you had some challenges coming up, and we all have a few, but we don't want them to, as young, the reason we mentor young people, we don't want them to make such bad decisions that it impedes them to the point that they can't, enjoy the fruit of their country, which is America,
Right.
and enjoy the rights that have been afforded them based on the Constitution. So we do a lot of work in trying to just simply work on, what's right, what's wrong,
Right.
how we should treat people based on just common courtesy to individuals, and that's a whole lesson. And then you move into the bigger pieces of understanding the government, understanding finance, because that's one of the big pieces in our country is finance. Work, choosing a career, picking the right career that you feel that you should be in. So we run the gamut on trying to help young people get focused and get that way at an early age, so that they get knowledge in school that they need. Knowledge is power, and get the credentials needed so that they can be productive citizens. And of course, you grow up and you have the right to be a representative if you choose to. I tried to be one 4 times myself, so I wanted to represent the people. But even in win or lose, you still get an opportunity to be an advocate, just like we're doing with this podcast. To be an advocate, get the issues out there, get the word out there, based on what we think should be going on in this society, this country, and there are people listening, and you build that coalition, and as you build a coalition, if you build enough of it and you get the majority, then you get your representative to go to the state house or to Congress, and now they advocate for your issues that you're concerned about. That's a lot. I said a lot there.
Let me ask you. Well, actually, Shawn, do you have any questions that you would like to pose to Ike, given your experience and what you would like to have as your own foundation, so to speak, for we the people doing things?
Not really, because he's answered a lot of my questions. But one thing I did want to touch base on is, like he said, like not wanting the kids to make the same type of mistakes I made. Like, that's where I feel like they need more access to different things, because a lot of people don't have access out of their own community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids really don't. They really don't have, like, how can I say this? Like, we see it in movies, we see it in real life, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't have access outside, let's say, a 4-block radius or a 5-block radius besides their school or what they see, you know what I'm saying? So it's like in New York, we had people come from different types of jobs, and we had programs. Like, we don't have none of that here, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have nobody coming trying to, like, show us how to work on cars and contracting, shop class, stuff like that. We don't have that here. And I did never understand it, because like I said, in New York, we had all that. Up north, we had all that. But then, you got people that slip through cracks and stuff like that. But then when I came here, it was like we didn't have none of that,
So Shawn, does that give you or us an opportunity to recognize that things are missing in our community, and that we really have a responsibility to make it so that we all have, so to speak, a toehold in what's going on?
So that's where, like,
and that's where, like,
pastors come in, and
that's
teachers.
That's an important message.
Yeah, pastors, teachers,
that's
and
an important
older folk. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because I know older folk, even some that made big mistakes in their life, come and make a big difference in other people, younger people's lives. I have a cousin.
Shawn, that's a challenge most places, but there are some, and this again, there are resources
Right.
that are, your county, Onslow County, has put in a skill center, speaking to some of the things that you just mentioned. And the kids in school have an option to engage those skill centers, mechanic, food service, culinary arts, etc.,
Okay.
while they're in school.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you're right. This has come on in the last few years because there was a need, and people were saying that is what was needed, and so the leaders put about $11 million in a project, and we have a skill center now. So again, when we the people voice their concerns and say this is something that we need in the community, then usually the leaders listen sometime. But if they
Right.
don't listen, then you have to scream a little louder.
Right.
But
Right.
on the other
Yeah,
hand, let me
we
just
have to keep going to get their
yeah,
attention.
but
Yeah. Well, I have to say that our time is up, but I've so much enjoyed the conversation. I think we got a lot out of it. We identified some
Right.
resources, some lessons that we learned, and we know that we have to go out and talk to everybody to tell them we, the people, have the responsibility to build up our community, to build up our families, and to go out and vote
Right.
and to make this change happen. So I thank you, Shawn, and I thank you, Ike, for this conversation. I really have enjoyed it.
I
I hope you
appreciate it.
helped it add
I,
something to, and that you will go out and talk to people to tell them that we are doing this podcast for the reasons that both of you have talked about. So, thank you for joining us for the first episode of Voices of We the People, where we laid the foundation for future episodes, where we stress how important it is for us to understand our power. And you guys did a really good job of doing that.
appreciate it.
We look forward to further conversations. Our next podcast is on the facets of healthcare and what we can expect from the recently passed bill in
Mm.
Congress. Now, don't forget to go to info at Voices of We the People and leave your comments about today's program and share your concerns about needs and challenges in your community. Also, let us know if there's someone you think could be a great guest. We don't This podcast doesn't look to every leader in the area, because like Shawn has a lot to say, so we're looking to everybody to make their voices known. And before I go, I have to thank Tamika Robinson of Blue Radio. Tamika has been my North Star as we've tried to create and deliver this podcast. She has just been amazing, amazing and patient. Everything I know, everything I learned, which was I didn't know anything, starting with her patience, I have I have really been blessed and I'm so grateful. I'd also like to thank my husband for his unstinting commitment to helping us solve our various technology problems in getting us up and going.
yes,
So I really appreciate that. And until next time, I'm Dr. Gloria Frederick, your host for Voices of We the People. I look forward to hearing your comments and questions, and also be sure to let us know if there's somebody you think would be a great addition to our podcast family. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ike. Thank you, Shawn. And we're blessed to have all of you as our listeners. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.